Hey guys, welcome back to Be Blessed Studios. I'm Alicia and today we're on episode 5 of Heaven's Warriors. And today we're talking about Ruth, a woman who stayed when it would have been easier to leave. She lost everything. She had no guarantees, but she chose loyalty and trusted God anyway. I'm going to be reading a quick short summary of Ruth. So it says here, Ruth was a Moabite woman who lost her husband, leaving her in a place of grief and uncertainty. She had the choice to go back to her old life, but instead she chose to stay with her mother-in-law, Naomi. Even when the future was unclear, Ruth stayed loyal and stepped into the unknown with faith. She worked in the fields, stayed humble, and trusted God quietly. Over time, God changed her story. Ruth went from loss, restoration, and became part of something greater than she ever imagined. Her story isn't loud, but it's powerful. It's about loyalty, faith, and trusting God in small, unseen moments. Before I go into the 5 key points, I just have 2 interesting facts about Ruth. The first fact is that she is the great-grandmother of King David, and we have covered David before. I'm pretty sure it was 2 episodes ago, we covered David. And she is also mentioned in the genealogy of Jesus. That is insane. You can read about the genealogy of Jesus in Matthew 1. You'll see that Ruth is mentioned there. She is one of the few women who is specifically mentioned in Jesus' genealogy. So I just found those 2 facts to be very interesting. Hope you guys did too. So now we're going to go into our 5 key points. Our first key point: you can choose faith even after loss. Ruth didn't let her pain define her future. So when she lost her husband, she was in a very comfortable area. This is where she was from. She was from Moab and she was in Moab when her husband passed away. Her husband was an Israelite. So she had 2 choices. Her sister decided to stay in Moab because that was the easier choice. And the mother-in-law even told them, stay in Moab, you'll have a better life. And the mother-in-law was going back to Israel because she knew she wasn't going to have a better life there because they were going to see her as a foreigner. But Ruth knew that going to Israel meant that she was going to be the outsider, be the foreigner, because she was a Moabite. But that didn't stop her from making the right decision to go with her mother-in-law. Even though her mother-in-law said, stay here, it's the better choice for you to stay here, because Ruth's gonna have such a rough and hard life if she goes to Israel. But she decided to go with her anyway, and I think one of the famous quotes from Ruth was, where you go, I will go with you. Just fact check me on the screen there. I'm pretty sure that is the verse. Even though she lost her husband and she was in a really hard time, she was grieving the loss of her husband, and that is a very big loss to have in your life, she still decided to do the right thing, and she still decided to have faith in God, that even though I'm going to this place that doesn't like me, I'm going to trust in God that He'll take care of me, because she knew she was doing the right thing. Because the mother-in-law, Naomi, she was very old at that time. She couldn't take care of herself. She needed someone to help her, and Ruth knew that. So that's why Ruth decided to go. And I think that takes a lot of faith from Ruth to do that. And, sometimes in our lives, we'll go through a loss and we will just lose complete faith in God sometimes and be like, why did God allow this to happen? For anything, if you lose a loved one, if things are just not going your way, you will wonder, why is God letting this happen? Is there even a God? I've had those questions before as well. But every time when I do, I always pray and I ask God, I'm having these moments of doubts right now, but I know that you will be able to help me overcome this. And God has, time and time again. Our second key point: loyalty matters. She stayed even though it wouldn't be easy. Even though she wouldn't have an easy life in Israel, she still decided to go with her anyway. Ruth was loyal to 2 people. She was loyal to God, first of all, obviously, and then she was loyal to her mother-in-law, because there's no way, if you're not loyal to someone, that you going back to their country which doesn't like you, and you're gonna go back there because you care about this person. So because she had that loyalty, and especially I feel like in God, because she had that loyalty there for God, this is why things did eventually work out for her. The third key point: God works in quiet seasons. Not every blessing is loud. Some grow slowly. Sometimes, when God blesses you, it's not always a loud thing that happens, Sometimes it's in small details that we oversee, Like sometimes the blessing that you could have in your day is the fact that you have a family, is the fact that you have a roof over your head, that you have a bed to sleep in, that you have food to eat, because that's not stuff that every single person has. It's basic human needs, but it's not what every single person has in this world. And those are the quiet blessings that we take for granted, I feel like, a lot of the times. And sometimes, you'll be praying to God like, oh, I really want this thing so badly, and you don't know why God isn't answering. But the thing is, God is answering that blessing that you are asking for, but it's gonna take time. And that is where, like, you could like, the thing you could be asking God for, right, is you're asking God for patience. So he takes long to respond to you. So it could be that, even like, if you ask God for patience, right, it could even be the fact that he's going to send trials to test that, well, to not even test, to build that patience, because you're asking God for patience. So he's gonna bring trials in to help overcome to help build your patience. And sometimes you're like, I asked God to help me build patience. Why are there so many trials coming to my life that is testing the little patience that I have right now? But the thing is, it's not to test your patience, but it's to build. You wondering, why is God so quiet, Why is he not answering? It's because he's working behind the scenes. Or it's because the thing you're praying for isn't the thing that he sees is right for you. Because maybe he sees the thing that you're praying for is going to corrupt you, or it's not the right thing for you. Hope that makes sense. Our fourth point: small steps still matter. Ruth simply showed up and worked faithfully. So once she got to Israel, right, with Naomi, life was not easy immediately. The people didn't like her. She was basically an outcast there, and she knew that going there, but she did it because she knew Naomi needed her. And she even through all of that, she still stayed faithful to God. And when people are being mean to you, it's very hard to like see God, and to trust in God when things are just not working out. And at this time in Ruth's life, things were not working out. And I'm sure she must have had some doubts in her head as well, because we all human, and we all have that doubt that comes. And I'm sure her doubt must have been that, I moved here because I know it's the right thing to do. I know it's what God wanted me to do. But now it kind of feels like a burden almost. But she still worked faithfully, and she still continued to trust in God. And we see how God did bless her in the end. Our last point: God can rewrite your story. What started in loss ended in purpose. Ruth found her purpose there in Israel with helping take care of Naomi. And also, she could have just, given up as well. Even though she lost her husband, God blessed her with another husband, and his name was Boaz, and she found him there in Israel as well. And that was basically Ruth's happy ending. If she hadn't gone to Israel, she wasn't going to meet him, and she wasn't going to have her husband back again, if I can say that. But basically, you just need to trust in God in everything, even when it's really hard, especially when you're going through a grief of a loved one. That is the hardest to deal with, and that's the one that hits the hardest. But God understands that grief the most, because God cares about us the same way we cared about that person who passed away. So when you tell God about your grief, he understands you. He understands the pain that you went through as well. I just have a quote here for our ending. It is, "You don't need a perfect beginning to have a beautiful story." I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!